Hey, you guys, you're getting old school Sean today, and I'm hoping because I have a new phone, you can hear me. So as you join in, let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. I know I'm little in this square because I'm doing StreamYard from my phone like I did yesterday. But the reason that I'm doing StreamYard from my phone is because by doing StreamYard from my phone, I'm hitting you on my personal page, the Power Network business page, as well as my YouTube channel. So I'm killing three things at once, and it just makes sense. So if somebody's out there watching, just throw in the comments, I can hear you. The volume is clear. I know you can see me. So just somebody let me know I can hear you. So I wanted to get into some things about, I have been reflecting on the end of the year as I normally do this time of year because I spend so much of my time coaching individuals and doing strategic planning with individuals and helping them plan. Good morning. Can you hear me, Delanda? And helping them plan for what next year looks like. And, I mentioned yesterday that there isn't this, usually it's like over the top with, and I might have spoke too soon because as soon as that happened yesterday, a whole bunch of y'all signed up for a power hour, and I appreciate you. Thank you. And I'm excited to meet with you. Um, and so it's like it's time to start planning for what next year looks like. But in addition to start planning for what next year looks like, it's also time to reflect on what did you learn this year? What will you be better about? What will you be different? What will you do differently? I had a stellar year as it relates to business, but even in the stellar year, the wins are great, but on so many of them, I crawled to the finish line. I mean, in the background, it was chaotic. It was a lot. I let a lot of clients give, because of the pandemic and because of how things were going, I let a lot of clients give unreasonable timelines without sending out appropriate change orders sometimes and appropriate increased invoices. And so that's what I know that I have to be better about. My time is worth money, and there's not a company that I know, a larger company that I know, that if you ask them to do something in a short turnaround and your time change, not mine, that you don't get charged a rush fee. I mean, if I want Amazon to bring something quicker to me, even as an Amazon Prime member, then there's always a rush fee. If I want the postal service, et cetera, et cetera. And so I would say one of my biggest lessons is to make sure that I am charging a price that is commensurate with the services that I am rendering. Because here's what happens when you don't do that. And it's not to say that I don't get paid well, because I know somebody out here watching, it might be a client, and somebody like, girl, all that money I pay you. So it's not to say that I don't get paid well, but we have to be honest of, I always, just me being me, like I always say, standards don't, and I shouldn't say like I always say because I got this from Bishop T.D. Jakes, but standards don't, you don't create the standards when you arrive to your destination. The standards are already there when you get there. So however you work and whoever you are and whatever your standard of excellence is, it's already there when you arrive at your destination. And so I have this standard of excellence, and I have this desire to always exceed customer expectation. I don't leave a client event, I don't leave a client project without asking, are you pleased? I always want to know straight up to the face, look me in the face and tell me, are you pleased? And I want to know immediately, because I want your raw reaction from it, because then I know I'm going to get the truth. I don't want you to have, go back, think about it, look at the Facebook feed, and maybe you weren't pleased with this or that. And I do that, and I ask that tough question. First of all, surveys are important, debriefs are important. So in addition to doing that, I also make sure that I have a debrief with my clients. But then in the meantime, I ask that question right away because I want the initial thought of, like, was this what you hoped it would be when you cut the check to me? If you sign up for a power hour with me, you got the $99 power hour special happening. You cash out power, POWHER, to grab your spot. I am headed out of town, so I will, if you pay to secure your spot, because spots are almost gone, then I will be in touch when I return back to town to schedule your date, and your date will happen before the end of the year. So the thing is that I ask that, and I want to know because I want to learn and I want to be better and I want to deliver on what it is that I said that I would deliver to the client. So first lesson is if there's a change in the scope of work, we used to call that, look, I'm in line at McDonald's, y'all, because I got to head to the airport. I got to get something to eat. Y'all just bear with me. And if you watching and you're a health nut, don't judge me that I'm at McDonald's. You got to do what you got to do sometimes. So anyway, while I wait to take the order.
How may I help you today?
The menu went away, but I want a sausage McMuffin with egg meal. So I want a number 2.
Kind of drink?
You can make it a coffee, small with a shot of espresso. And can I have 5 creams and 2 sugars? And can I have grape jelly? Yep. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank y'all for letting me order my breakfast because I got to get to the airport. So anyway, this is old school. If you've been rocking with me a long time, y'all know this how I do. Like you go on the morning ride with me. So anyway, my point is that I learned, at AT&T even, or any other corporation that I worked for, if we had agreed to a contract with a client, and all of a sudden, let's say we were, doing a backhoe to lay fiber on your campus, and we realized that we were going to have to deviate on how that got laid and have to re-engineer some things. AT&T had no problem going back to the client and saying, this is going to require a change order, a scope of work, additional resources, additional people, et cetera, et cetera. So that being said, you got to pay more money. And if the client didn't want to pay more money, then how you going to get the work done? Because you are already in for this much money. And it's not a tactic of you stuck, but it's one of those things of it's about doing business fairly, and it's about doing business the right way, and it's about doing business period. Like, it's going to require more work, it's going to require more off hours. It's nothing that either one of us could have seen coming. It's something that you're requesting, clients, that you feel like you need to make happen. And so in order for us to make this happen in excellence and execute it in a way that's going to deem you the results that you want to get, then it's going to cost more money. And that's just it, point blank and a period. And I was one of those people that used to have to go back and have those tough conversations with CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 200 companies, Fortune 100 companies. And so it's amazing then that when you run your own business, I have this heart for small business. Thank you. For small businesses, especially faith-based businesses, and the amount of money that they have to put on, but the thing is I can't think about their money more than mine, and I can't think about their situation more than mine, because at the end of the day, I have to pay my staff, I have to pay my subcontractors, I have to pay my resources, and I have to execute on what it is that they needed in a proper way.
Reading? Do you have another one?
Yeah, it's not reading. What's wrong with McDonald's POS systems? It can't read my card. I'm going out of town. I need this card to read. I'm going to test that somewhere else. So anyway, I know I just used it for gas. So anyway,
And there we go.
Thank you. So anyway, I just want you to say that you have to respect your business the same way that big business respects theirs, and you can't go into a deficit and not make money and not earn profits because you don't want to have the tough conversation, or because your heart is in the business. And it's not to say you don't have heart and passion when you're doing business, but there comes a point that business is business, and if they have hired you to do the business, then they need to pay a rate commensurate with what it is that they want the outcome to be. And I will tell you, more times out of not, people understand that and they're willing to do that, as long as you can show and detail out what it is that the additional cost is happening for, and what they will get as a result of it. And especially, it's not something that you came to them requesting, it's something that they came to you requesting. And so keep that in mind. So that's the first lesson. Second lesson, in that same vein, because I do work with a lot of faith-based customers, I have a really soft heart for the church. Y'all know I love the Lord. He heard my cry. And so I work with a lot of ministries. And I realized this year that I will let, and this is no ministry in particular, because I work with tons of them, tons, more than you'll ever know. Thank you. That I let so many of them, I asked for, that I let so many of them get away with murder because I feel like, well, this is my service to the Lord. Well, my service to the Lord don't got nothing to do with the fact that this is the services that I am rendering as it relates to my livelihood. The Lord is the head of my life, but He cares about my livelihood. He doesn't want to see me walking away, helping someone else make $500,000, $1 million, et cetera, and I'm walking away and my family is struggling and I can't afford to pay our bills because I put so much into what they're doing. There is a business side to church that can't be ignored. Church is a high stakes business. Not all of them. There's some storefront churches out there that don't have a lot of money, but the ones that hire me have money. And so the thing is that I can get so concerned and almost guilt ridden. And I think that's just a church mentality that I'm not bringing with me into 2021. So if you a church and you hire me, just know you paying. And that's it. And not that I'm charging the church the same thing that I'm charging a Fortune 100 company. You should have scales and balances in your businesses, understanding what the earnings are for the particular business in which you're working for. However, you shouldn't undercut yourself so much that you come out of it losing. Never. That's not smart business. So that's the next thing. Last thing, expectations. I have ridiculously high expectations of myself. I don't go into anything to fail. I don't go into anything to do it in a mediocre manner. I don't go into anything that's people just gonna be like, oh, that was cute, that was cool. I go into everything shooting for excellence. And so what I realized though is that that's me. That's my standard. That's what I do. And so that just because that's what I do, I can't expect that from everyone. My hope is that I'm building a team and I'm coaching them and I'm leading them and setting an example for them in a way that they are willing to go as hard as I am in the paint because they see the possibilities, because they see what happens when we deliver in excellence. But I also have to know that that's not going to always be okay. And I have to be okay with that because 9 times out of 10, when you run a business like mine, the client only meets me. All they know is they hired the Power Network and Chantel McKenzie. They have no idea of the army of people behind me making it work. And so then, heavy is the head that wears the crown. And so that is something that I have to remember, and it's something that I never lose sight of. And so at the end of the day, if it rises or falls, it rises and falls on my name, on my head. And so first of all, I have to have high expectations of me, but also I have to be okay with the client's expectations of whatever it is that they want to deploy. And so the way that I present, the way that I market, the way that I position the Power Network has nothing to do with how this client may want to market, position, articulate, and share their own message. And so my spirit of excellence, I can't let my vision bleed into theirs. So one of the that this year been probably around in the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter. I said, if they like it, I love it. You know, I used to try to explain to people, depending on their logo that they had us created or their website, et cetera, why it wouldn't resonate with the public, why it was a one-trick pony, why it was too trendy, why they were going to come back in a couple of years and want a new logo, why we're going to have to redo all of this copy, why you didn't want to use these colors. And I don't do that anymore. I definitely give my professional opinion. I definitely am not a yes person, so I'm not holding back. But I'm not, I guess I should say, I'm not arguing with you. At the end of the day, it's your money and you're right. Because what I found is a couple of things. I know what I do, and I know what I do well. I am an expert in my field. And so if you hire an expert and then choose not to listen to it, it would be like me going in for heart surgery, but me telling the cardiologist, no, you need to slice here versus here. I didn't know medical school, and I don't do this every day. And so at some point, you got to trust. And if there's no trust there, or if they've already come in with a vision that they've decided that this is how things are going to play out, I'm going to give my opinion, but I'm not going to push past their opinion, and we're going to move. And this is what I found more times than less. By me being less pushy, and by me allowing them to move in the way they want to move, and make mistakes and learn along the way, so many clients become repeat clients because a year later, 2 years later, they're like, now I get what you were trying to tell me. Now I understand the vision you were trying to help me lay. Now I understand the goals you were trying to get me to set. Now I get that you were trying to get me to build something sustainable and not trendy. And then what happens? They pay me again. So that's just a tip for anybody out there. Like, everybody not gonna do it like you do it. Everybody not gonna do what you do. And so give your best when coaching and consulting and strategizing with people. Give your absolute best. This is not a call to not give your absolute best in every way, shape, or the form. But if they are dead set on it looking a certain way, being a certain way, being said a certain way, then do it in a way that it doesn't degrade the value of your brand, and you can still stand behind it proud, saying, yes, we were part of creating this. You know, I won't do subpar work, but also let it go. You just got to learn to let it go. You just got to learn to get it done and let it go. And some things you just gonna be like, okay. And you know, and as long as you can be proud of the work you did, and you know you delivered upon what the client asked you to deliver upon, that's all you can do. So anyway, this is my last Power Talk, at least till next week. If you see me go live in the next few days, because I'm about to head out of town on a girls trip, it might be on some shenanigans. There will be no videos from my phone. But I'm really going to take some time to cut off my brain and to take some time to take care of me, because that is the last lesson that I learned in 2020. And I should have been learned this lesson. You know, a hard head make a soft butt, as my grandmother would say, or, you know, you don't believe fat meat is greasy is another one of her favorite lines that she used to say when I was growing up. And and I realized that I was so scared of losing in 2020 because of the pandemic, because of everything that was going on, because of the news cycles. I was so caught up in the will of that I did not turn down hardly any work. If you were offering me work, I was taking it, because who knows when the next work was going to come? Who knows when the money was going to come out? And I didn't just let myself hit capacity, I let myself go over capacity. And so as a result of that, I hit a wall last week and the week before last, because I didn't give myself recovery time. I didn't give myself rest time. I mistreated me, and I mistreated me chasing the dollar, which is not something I believe in. I believe in chasing purpose. You chase purpose, money will find you. And I literally crashed, and I can't let that happen anymore. And so one of the things that I will take into 2021 is acknowledging and admitting when I'm at capacity, removing that last layer of fear. And not to say it's not going to be there, not to say I'm going to, as an entrepreneur, you're always going to feel the fear of when you are the sole earner of your living, meaning you don't have no guaranteed direct deposit coming, you know, you don't work, you don't eat kind of thing. That adds a tremendous amount of pressure that only the people that live as full-time entrepreneurs get and understand. And so that being said, you can't let that pressure run you and run your emotions in a way that you over exceed capacity. I always say, give all you got. And so what I was doing is I was giving all I got. I was giving all I got, all you got, all he got, all she got. And then I'm up at night crying and feeling like I'm dying and doing terribly and ripping everything to shreds and not even working at my best because I'm exhausted. So don't let that happen. All right, you guys, don't forget to book your power hours. I'm out. Peace, love, power. Have a great day.